Chapter 1: The History. In 1899, Giovanni Agnelli and a group of entrepreneurs from Turin, northern Italy, founded the Fabbrica Italiana Automobili Torino. From the outset, this company stood out for the skill and creativity of its engineers. The first model launched was the Fiat Quattrocavalli, a compact car with a two-cylinder gasoline engine generating approximately 4 horsepower. Hence the name Quattrocavalli. With a capacity for 2 passengers, it quickly became popular in Italy. In 1906, the company adopted the name Fiat. Shortly thereafter, Agnelli acquired the shares of his partners, taking full control. After years of growth, in 1910, Fiat was already the largest car manufacturer in Italy, a position it maintains to this day. Agnelli was not content to dominate only the automotive sector. Cultivating good relations with politicians in Rome, he began expanding his empire into other segments. In 1914, with Italy on the brink of World War I, Agnelli supported the rising politician Benito Mussolini. This marked the beginning of a major expansion for Fiat, which began manufacturing trucks, machine guns, aircraft engines, and ambulances. The company, which had 50 employees in 1899, now employed 4,000 people. In 1916, Fiat began building the legendary Legnano factory, a vast industrial complex on the outskirts of Turin, notable for its structure. The factory even had a test track on its roof and, after its inauguration in 1923, became the largest car factory in the world. In addition to car production, Fiat followed in the footsteps of the American Ford and manufactured tractors. The Fiat 702 was launched in 1918, just 1 year after the Fordson F, considered the world's first mass-produced tractor. In 1919, Fiat Trattor SPA was founded, focusing exclusively on the production of agricultural tractors. Decades later, it would become part of the global giant CNH after mergers with Ford, Case, and New Holland. Have you ever stopped to think about what unites Fiat, Ferrari, Juventus, and the Economics magazine? All of them are under the control of one of the most influential families in Europe, the Agnelli. Through their holding company, EXOR, the Agnelli family has around 28 billion euros invested in a wide range of businesses, from tractors to luxury footwear. To illustrate the magnitude of this family empire, it is enough to mention that Stellantis, which encompasses brands like Fiat, Peugeot, Chrysler, and Jeep, achieved a turnover of 178 billion euros in 2022. Additionally, in the automotive sector, the Agnelli family also owns Iveco and CNH Industrial, which controls the Case and New Holland brands. In August 2023, the family announced its most recent investment, acquiring 15% of Philips shares for $2.5 billion. It was this news that sparked our interest and led us to delve into our research on the Agnelli empire and how they managed to maintain it for 124 years. In this investigation, we discovered that Fiat was not limited to the manufacture of automobiles, but also ventured into the production of tractors, trucks, planes, trains, and even weapons. Additionally, we found some controversies related to the group's companies, such as the family's connection to Benito Mussolini and their partnership with dictator Muammar Gaddafi in the 70s. Welcome to the history of the Agnelli, the business dynasty that has dominated Italy for over a century. Chapter 2: Enjoy life, my son. In just 2 decades, Fiat evolved from a small vehicle manufacturer into a diversified industrial conglomerate. Its operations included Fiat Veiculos Industriali, which would become Iveco, Fiat Veicoli Commerciali, responsible for light commercial vehicles, Fiat Ferroviaria, famous for manufacturing the Pendolino model sold to Alstom in 2000, and Fiat Aviazone, which merged with Airfar to create Era Italia. Additionally, Fiat had several subsidiaries, including the traditional automotive components manufacturer Magneti Marelli and later, the motorcycle manufacturer Vespa. Outside the industry, Giovanni Agnelli expanded his empire into the media with the acquisition of the La Stampa newspaper, and in the world of sports, he purchased Juventus in 1923. In 1927, to organize all these investments, he created the Istituto Finanziario Industriale, IFI, the legendary Agnelli family holding, which later became EXOR. With a significant increase in wealth and influence, Giovanni Agnelli, nicknamed El Senatore after becoming a life senator in the Italian parliament, raised uncertainties about his succession. This arose due to the death of his daughter, Anicita Caterina, in 1928, and the lack of interest from his son, Edoardo Agnelli, in the family business. Edoardo, known for his party lifestyle and passion for Juventus, the family's football club, died in a plane crash in Switzerland in 1935, leaving Giovanni Agnelli without direct heirs to take over the family empire. At the time, his eldest grandson, Gianni Agnelli, was still young and unprepared to lead. After El Senatore's death in December 1945, control of the conglomerate passed to Vittorio Valletta, his right-hand man, who had no blood ties to the Agnelli family. Before his death, Giovanni Agnelli gave advice to his grandson Gianni: have fun until you get tired for a few years. And Gianni followed it to the letter. With an estimated inheritance of $1 billion in 1945 and an annual pension of $1 million, Gianni Agnelli enjoyed life. He skied in St. Moritz, Switzerland, and spent weekends at the luxurious Villa Leopolda, the family property on the French Riviera. He loved starting the weekend by diving into the Mediterranean Sea in his helicopter. His passion for speed led him to turn the streets of Monte Carlo into a Formula One track aboard his Ferrari. Gianni was a regular presence at Europe's most extravagant parties, earning the nickname Avocado due to his law degree. In 1952, however, a serious accident almost took his life during a collision of his Ferrari with a meat-carrying truck after a party in Monte Carlo. He suffered severe leg fractures. After the accident, Gianni Agnelli adopted a more cautious lifestyle. In 1953, he married Princess Morella Caracciolo. Even so, for a few more years, he did not involve himself in the management of the family businesses, which continued to thrive under the leadership of Vittorio Valletta. The conglomerate maintained its rapid growth and remained the largest industrial group in Italy and one of the largest in Europe. Chapter 3: How they bought Ferrari. It was only in the year 1966, when Gianni, the heir of the Agnelli dynasty, reached the age of 45, that he definitively assumed the position of president of Fiat, immediately after Vittorio Valletta's retirement. The official announcement took place on April 30, 1966, a Saturday morning, during the annual assembly of Fiat, before 489 company shareholders who expressed uncertainties about Gianni's suitability for the role. At that time, Fiat employed 130,000 workers and faced questions about whether the aristocratic heir, known for his playboy lifestyle, could manage one of the largest industrial conglomerates in Europe. However, Gianni Agnelli pressed on, aware of the enormous responsibility upon him. When his grandfather passed away in 1945, Fiat produced 3,260 cars annually. By then, that same number was produced in just one working day. However, Fiat was only a part of the Agnelli wealth, which held direct and indirect stakes in about 25% of all companies listed on the Italian stock exchange. Fiat represented the Italian industrial triumph, bringing pride to the city of Turin, whose population grew from 700,000 inhabitants in 1950